Call this meeting to order. Secretary Gunby, will you please do roll call?
Senator Abdul Salam.
Senator for the College of Computing and Software Engineering, present.
Senator Armbruster.
Senator from Michael J. Coles College Business, present.
Senator Buffett.
Senator for College of Computing and Software Engineering, present.
Senator Barron.
Senator for Students with Disabilities, present.
Senator Benitez.
Senator for American Minorities, present.
President Brock.
President Brock, present.
Senator Crawford.
Senator Commission.
Director Delaney.
Director of Academic Affairs, present.
Senator Dennis.
Senator of College of Humanities and Social Science, present.
Senator Duclair. Senator Dykes.
Senator for First Year Students, present.
Senator Edmonds.
Senator for Fraternity and Sorority Life, present.
Senator Ellis. Senate League Gagne.
Kennesaw Senate League, present.
Director Heath.
Director of External Affairs, present.
Senate Lead Holden. Director Honeycutt.
Director of Procedural Operations, present.
Senator Jackson.
Senator for Veterans Administration Affairs, present.
Senator Keller.
Senator from Michael J. Coles College of Business, present.
Senator Ligman.
Senator for the Honors College, present.
Senator McGinnis.
Senator for Non-Traditional Students, present.
Senator Mallett. Senator Marquez. Vice President Mobilaji. Senator Mofasali. Senator Mokes. Senator Mogis.
Senator for the whole town students, present.
Senator Rahman.
Senator for the College of Science and Mathematics, present.
Director Rubio.
Director of External Affairs, present.
Senator Singleton.
Senator for Athletic Students, present.
Senator Stelzer.
Senator for the College of Business, present.
Senator Stephenbach.
Senator for Lobster College of Health and Human Services, present.
Senator Sukumar.
Senator for the College of Science and Mathematics, present.
Senator Tor.
Senator for First Year Students, present.
Director Badlamudi.
Director of Communications, present.
Senator Weiss.
Senator for the University College, present.
Senator Whitehead.
All right, is there a motion on the floor to approve the 43rd meeting minutes? Director Heath,
I move to approve the 43rd meeting minutes.
is there a second? Seconded by Senator Benitez. Is there any discussion on that motion? All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? Any abstentions? That motion does pass. Now we're going to go into officer reports. This is a time for any guests to speak as well as our executive board to give their report. We're going to strike Julie Page from the minutes because she is not here. So we will start to my right with Director Rubio.
I don't have much to report, just to remind you guys that Mental Health Awareness Day is still this Friday, 12 to 3 p.m. I'm going to be setting up around 11:30 on the green. We still have catering, going to be about 100 mini burgers there. I don't know if that's 100 exact burgers or orders of 100, but hopefully whatever. So we still have that. That'll be 12 to 3, and KPA as well as I think ISA is going to be there. But come out and help out. Thank you.
All right, hey guys, just a reminder that Fuel for Finals is tomorrow, 11 to 12 on Marietta and 2 to 3 on Kennesaw. And if you all show up and we get it done in 15 minutes, that's that. So please show up. I have 2 other meetings and an interview to do tomorrow too, and I also have finals. So the whole I'm busy excuse doesn't work. Yeah, so I love you all, but the whole I'm busy thing, not gonna fly. We're all busy. Okay, so please show up. But yeah, end report.
Senate League Gagne. Hey guys, thank you all so much for attending the bonding event that we had last weekend. It was actually way more successful than I thought it would be, especially because we had so many students show up, which is really great. So we will be continuing that trend with this next administration, which I'm extremely excited for. Thank you all for also doing the new officer report layout. I really hope that you guys enjoyed that. That was just something that I wanted you guys to really take as kind of a little bit of a reward for yourself and for all your hard work. And then just to add on, I do want to share with all of you how truly disappointing it is to not have everyone attend this last meeting. So if you see those people, please express that disappointment because it's pretty sad. Okay, end of report.
Director of Procedural Operations. Governance met one final time this semester, and we discussed, based off some of the feedback we heard in the official survey we did for my stipend, as well as just things we've heard from you throughout the year, to create basically a suggestion of what worked, what didn't, for hopefully future director Blaine Mogus. And other than that, there wasn't much else. I just want to take the moment to publicly recognize Sam, Broderick, Bradley, and Puya. Without these four great people, the committee would not have been nearly as successful as it had been. So please take the time to thank them because they were a big part of making sure all of you were represented fairly. End of report.
Yay.
Director Vadlamudi.
Guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. Get ready to see the best 2 flyers you've ever seen in your lives in the next 2 days. They're gonna be so good. Let's also, that's the end of my report, but let's also wish Iggy a speedy recovery. He got injured in a very serious longboarding accident, mainly because he doesn't know how to longboard. End of report.
Hey everyone, I met with Police Chief Stevens before the last meeting, but I didn't give my report because I wanted to go get Margs. But so we basically talked about general campus security, and I talked a little bit in light of the recent school shootings, what KSU's preparedness was for that. I have detailed notes from the meeting that I'll be passing on to the next Director of External Affairs, and if you guys want to know, just come ask me after the meeting. End of report.
Vice President Mobalaji. Let's see. So this week I had a meeting with Dr. Sansevero. I also met with some girl who had questions about. Yeah, I can't remember her name, but she had questions about the fixed seat model and SGA's role in that. So I did a little interview with her, and then the CSH major. So I'm sure all of you guys read that email. So their courses are now closed off to only CSH students. So keep an eye on that. Listen to what the students want. You know, if students want those classes to be open, definitely keep that on your radar for next administration. Yeah, I really can't remember the rest. So that's the end of my report. It's been a fun ride. Best of luck to you guys who are returning for next year, and yeah, we'll see you around.
President Brock. Been doing lots of transition things with your president-elect Honeycutt. So he's been going to all of my meetings. I've been telling him what's going on, what I do. He's been to a couple meetings with Dr. Sansevero. We have one next week with Dr. White. We met with Dr. Harmon yesterday. So just lots of transition things. So he's very prepared on all of the meetings that he'll have to attend. I believe that's about it for me. Again, it's been a great ride. So it's crazy to think 2 years ago we were in their seats, wherever Masood is. Masood is right there. Normally you sit on that side, right? No? Oh, okay. Whatever. So, yeah, if any new administration, if y'all ever need anything, you can email me. I might not respond, but that's okay. Okay. And when we do the transition, we're going to do that after new business, so you guys know. And President-elect Honeycutt will go over how that will go. So now we will go into open forum. This is a time for any officer or guest to bring something up to SGA or any senator to talk about what they're doing or any event pertaining to SGA. Is there anything for open forum? Nope. Okay. Oh.
Hi, Senator for Students with Disabilities. Guys, so by the way, if you were signed up for a culinary class and you're a senior or something, you have like one semester left or something like that, they are making some exceptions. So if you know anyone who's stressing out about that, make sure they just email their advisor, because they did make an exception for me for a class in the fall. So just try to make sure you guys know that, because not everyone should be in a panic about losing all those classes. And that's it. Goodbye, guys. I'm done here.
Okay. All right, now we're going to go into new business, and we have a pre-health advisor resolution. I think they're going to, but however they want to do it.
Am I good? All right, oh, that's loud. All right, guys, I know you guys are itching to get out of here because it's the end of the year and you guys all want to pack it home and take finals and go get some rest. But there is one thing we want to get done before we leave. As no surprise that we are a growing institution, and the past few years we've grown tremendously. And the past few months, myself, Ellie, Puya, Josh, and Aaron have been working on a resolution to get better advising for students who are in a pre-health program. Because right now we are one of the only schools in Georgia with such a large pre-health student population, but with having no pre-health advising available to those students. So those students often have to figure out themselves. They go to professors, they try to get their own little way to get around, but we feel like there's a better way to do that, and we feel like this resolution is the first step in taking that process forward. So we want to go ahead and just read this resolution for you. If you guys can't see it from there, just let us know. We will try to zoom in as fast as possible. Whereas Kennesaw State University has grown significantly in the past several years, from 25,714 in 2014 and to 35,846 in 2017, whereas the growth of the university entails increasing the availability of resources for students, whereas the number of academic resources available to students has effectively stagnated despite the growth of the student body population, whereas Kennesaw State University is becoming increasingly popular with pre-health students due to robust STEM programs, whereas students seeking careers in healthcare that need further education such as pharmacy, medical, physician assistant, dental schools, and more currently lack dedicated advising to guide their academic endeavors, whereas dedicated advising is a key factor in maintaining student retention, identifying resources for student success, and developing plans for courses and professional exams to accomplish academic goals, whereas dedicated pre-health advising is already in place in universities of similar enrollment, including but not limited to University of Georgia, Georgia Southern, and Georgia State University, whereas the College of Science and Mathematics has upwards of 500 students per each advisor, placing an incredible workload on advisors and decreasing advising quality received by students, whereas the Wellstar College of Health and Human Services has upwards of 1,000 students per each advisor, placing a heavy load on advising, whereas the Office of Academic Affairs intends to expand the advising program by hiring more advisors for the upcoming year, resolved that the Kennesaw State University needs to allocate resources for dedicated pre-health advising, resolved that at least one of the advisors being hired for the following year should be qualified and specifically brought on for pre-health advising, resolved that the quantity of advisors is increased to reflect growth of university in order to provide adequate quality of advising.
All right, any questions? Is there a motion on the floor to approve this resolution? Oh, question?
So I forgot his name, but when he talked about advising, he also talked about other colleges in which they kind of have the same problem of like oversaturation per advisor. So how is having a pre-health they should get more advisors, I agree with that, but shouldn't it just be gaining advisors in general, not necessarily get this one specific advisor, because there's other colleges that have higher rates per advisor?
There's already lines for next year's budget for more advisors. So this resolution wouldn't be like, oh, all of that money would be going towards just pre-health.
Cool.
I answered y'all's question for you, but okay, any other questions? Okay, is there a motion on the floor? Senator McInnes. Is there a second? Seconded by Vice President Mobilaji. Is there any discussion on that motion? All in favor, please raise your hand. All opposed? Any abstentions? That motion does pass. Yay! Okay, so to make everyone's lives easier, we're going to go ahead and do the switch now. So if you're a new senator, come over here. If you're not returning, go over there. And if you're a pending director, you can stay as well. All right. Please raise your right hand. I state your full name.
I, Matthew James Honeycutt,
Do solemnly promise
do solemnly promise
to uphold the Constitution
to uphold the Constitution
of the student government of Kennesaw State University
of the student government of Kennesaw State University
and to faithfully execute the office of.
and to faithfully execute the office of student government president.
I pledge to represent the interest of the students over my own self-interest
I pledge to represent the interest of the students over my own self-interest
in matters concerning the organization.
in matters concerning the organization.
I will make every effort to be available to listen to the concerns of students
I will make every effort to be available to listen to the concerns of students
and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
So before I swear in Senator Abdul Salam as Vice President, I'll go over the order of how we're going to do this real quick. So I will swear in the Vice President, followed by the Treasurer. And then those of you who are senators who were elected will all come up and we'll all swear you in mass. After that, Nicholas, Emma, and Vanessa, we will do what we did in previous meetings with directors and appointed senators, where you will all come up, the Senate will ask you questions, and then we'll send you out, we'll vote. After that, we will vote on secretary first, and then we will vote on all the directors en masse. And then after that, we will vote on the replacements for the 2 senators who are being asked to become directors. And finally, we will do the Senate leads. And it sounds complicated, but don't worry, we'll figure this out. So, Senator Abdul Salam, are you ready to take the oath? Face the audience, repeat after me. I, Masood Al-Ansar Abdul Salam,
I, Masood Al-Ansar Abdul Salam,
do solemnly promise
do solemnly promise
to uphold the Constitution of the student government of Kennesaw State University
to uphold the Constitution of the student government of Kennesaw State University
and to faithfully execute the office of Vice President.
and to faithfully execute the office of the Vice President.
I pledge to represent the interest of the students
I pledge to represent the interests of the students
over my own self-interest
over my own self-interest
in matters concerning the organization.
in matters concerning the organization.
I will make every effort to be available to listen to concerns of students
I will make every effort to be available to listen to the concerns of the students
and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
Congratulations, Mr. Vice President. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Stephen Paul Har,
I, Stephen Paul Hart,
do solemnly promise
do solemnly promise
to uphold the Constitution of the student government of Kennesaw State University
to uphold the Constitution of the student government of Kennesaw State University
and to faithfully execute the office of Treasurer.
and to faithfully execute the office of Treasurer.
I pledge to represent the interest of the students over my own self-interest
I pledge to represent the interests of the students over my own self-interest
in matters concerning the organization.
in matters concerning the organization.
I will make every effort to be available to listen to the concerns of students
I will make every effort to be available to listen to the concerns of students
and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
Congratulations, Treasurer Har.
Thank you.
Now, if we can get every senator who was just elected or re-elected to their post to come stand in front of me facing the audience, we'll do this in mass. You too. If you won an election. Yes, sir. If you won your election, please come up here.
Thanks.
Everyone, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly promise. To uphold the Constitution of the Student Government of Kennesaw State University. And to faithfully execute the office of State the office. I pledge to represent the interest of the students over my own self-interest. In matters concerning the organization. I will make every effort to be available to listen to the concerns of students. And to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2018-2019 SGA Senate. So as I said a second ago, while everyone's getting seated, what we're going to do next is we're going to have Emma Rumbaugh, Vanessa Benitez, and Nicholas Busen come up front. We'll go down the line, and they'll each talk about who they are, why they should be selected for the position they have, and then we'll do question and answers. We're going to limit it to 3 questions per candidate, and each senator only gets 1 question to make sure that everyone gets a chance to ask questions. And then if there's no questions from the Senate, we'll open it up to the audience. So Emma, Vanessa, and Nicholas, if y'all can come up here, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicholas Busen, and I am currently running for the senator for the residents of students living on campus. And the reason why I'm doing this is that several issues have been plaguing several residents living on campus, specifically in Kennesaw Place 1 and 2 and on the Marrietta campus. Currently, students were given less than a month to have to move out of their housing due to Kennesaw Place failing Georgia state inspections. While I understand that we may fail state inspections from time to time, the students should not be forced to leave within less than 1 month and after summer registration classes. And so one issue I would like to address is extending the minimum time where students can be evicted is to a minimum of 3 months. Another issue I'd like to address is currently in Building 4000 on University Village, they have not had hot water for 3 weeks. And I would definitely like to talk to the housing department to figure out exactly what type of inspections they're doing and how frequently they're doing them. And then the third issue I'd like to address is currently there's several certificates specifically on elevators that have expired. Like on North Deck, they've been expired for 2-3 years now. And so I would like to set up several meetings with the housing department in order to figure out why we're not having frequent inspections and just to get these issues resolved. And if any other issues arrive, I would love to address them and deal with them accordingly.
Are there any questions for our appointee for Senator for Residence Life? Broderick.
How you doing, man? I used to work for housing and whatnot. Are you familiar with the current, I guess, not executive board, excuse me, but the workers who work for them? Are you familiar with any of them right now?
Yes, I am. I'm familiar with Samaria, and she is the residence director for Kennesaw Place. And I have met with her several times about the issues, and I have also talked to Philip Sullivan. He is the head of, I believe, the entirety of South Campus, North Campus, which is all of University Village, University Suites and Kennesaw Place. And then I've also, during a student government meeting, I talked to the interim president about the issues too, but he seemed like that I should definitely go speak to the housing people about the issue.
Yes, that's definitely, that seems like more of a residence life thing. I don't know
Yeah.
if they had a whole convergence, I don't know, but now I still understand that there is a foundation with that, and I would recommend you to speak with them and be familiar with them first.
Yeah, I agree, thank you.
Any other questions from the Senate or the audience?
I do. I don't really think I need a mic, though. But,
Please use a mic for recording purposes.
Awesome. Makes me feel important. All right. I had a question about Marrietta Campus. So the Marrietta Campus has a Wi-Fi issue that's been known for a few years now. So UITS, they frequently get calls about that, and tickets are skyrocketing as we speak. So is there any way that you can address that, or any students that you could follow up with on that?
Well, I know Wi-Fi is actually incredibly expensive, especially for large groups of people. And so I could definitely would like to, because Kennesaw kind of is not really rated highly for its Wi-Fi. And so I definitely, especially for residents living on campus, I feel like Wi-Fi is incredibly important because most of our homework and several tests are online. And if the internet is not working, it really impacts your grade and your assignments. So definitely, that is a great issue that I definitely need to take up and communicate with the residence life people on the Marietta campus. But the only problem I see with that is that it might cost, there's no I don't know if I could pass any resolution or rules because I know Wi-Fi can be incredibly expensive. But I can definitely talk to them and see if it's a technical issue, if they need more funding for more Wi-Fi servers, or sorry, not servers. But yeah.
We'll take one more question. For those of you who are new, make sure that when you're standing up, if you're in SGA, state your position and then follow up question. So make sure you stand up, state position, then ask question. We'll hear from former Vice President Mobilaji. Can someone get him a mic?
My bad. So as you know, housing and residence life merged over the course this past year, right? You're familiar with that. So are you familiar with people that handle the money side of housing? So as you will probably need to know in your position, our housing on the north side of campus is run by the Kennesaw Foundation. So are you familiar with anybody in the foundation or their policies or any connections with anyone in that foundation?
That is a great question. I'm not currently familiar with anyone with the monetary side of the issues. Mostly I was going to begin focusing on things that did not involve money. For example, like making sure there's a 3-month requirement before residents are evicted, and just making sure inspections are done regularly. But I do agree that the financial side is incredibly important, especially for issues such as the Wi-Fi problem. And so I'm not in contact with any of them, I do not believe, but I can definitely meet with them, and I already have several inroads to several of the upper people in the residence life, and so I could definitely ask them and get advice on who I need to talk to address the funding issues.
I think I have a contact, so if you want that, you can just send me out.
Oh yeah, that would actually be great, thank you.
That'll be the last question. Thank you, Nicholas. We'll now hear from Emma, our appointee for Wellstar.
Good evening. My name is Emma Rumba. I am running for Senator for Wellstar College of Health and Human Services. When I think of what I'd like to do during my time here, a few words come to mind. One of them is clarity. I'd like to bring about clarity between the expectations and what students would need to be doing from advising and also in admissions. I've spoken with some students, and so they're hearing different things, and that's affecting what they'll be doing in the future, the classes they'll be taking, and we want this to be a really clear process for them. And also another keyword that comes to my mind is transparency. I've heard a lot of complaints with the nursing college regarding when students are admitted into the nursing college. I think the process is not very clear. It seems to be like we're told that it is on grades or it's on like your ethnicity or just very different things. And so just bringing clarity to that so students coming in or current students can know what their best chances are for the future. And then finally, quality. So I know that in the past they had interviews for the nursing applicants, and so I'm not quite sure how it is with the other colleges, but making sure that the students coming in, not only are they in good standing academically, but also with character as well. So I'm sure there are a lot of other issues I'd like to address, but those are the three things that come to mind at the moment.
Are there any questions for Emma? Director Delaney.
Hi, so I'm Director Delaney, and I'm actually a nursing student.
Yeah.
So to kind of just put it in perspective, not like obviously it should be, I like the way that you're going, and I think it's important to spread the news throughout all the students because it is so competitive to get into the nursing program. But from what I know and from what I've talked about, the main reason that they got rid of the interviews is because it's so competitive that there's so many people applying that they can't do it. So I think if you want to talk to them and like figure that out, that's great. But how would you do you have any ideas of how you would form that solution of not only doing quality over quantity, but how do you, because if you do those interviews, it's going to take twice as long and you're already waiting to like the week before registration to find out if you're accepted. So what are like some ways that you want to implement that back? Because trust me, it's important to get that interview. I know some people in my class need that interview. But like, how would you plan to do that, I guess?
Well, I guess one of the ways is, first of all, understanding how they're even picking applicants, because then from those applicants that are accepted, then doing an extra interview after that, because that significantly reduces the number, and it's just kind of an extra check to make sure that the students are in good standing academically, but also character-wise as well.
Okay, awesome. That's it for me. I'm sorry.
Are there, Senator McGinnis? Do we have can someone get her a microphone, please?
Hi there, Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students. My question relates to the fact that you keep mentioning character for the students. That's a very subjective thing. How would you measure character, and what do you define as, good character in terms of, the students admitted into the Wellstar College?
Well, as nurses, it's important to have someone who's well-rounded and willing and dedicated to taking care of their patients. So not only would we want them to be able to get through their coursework and do well in that, but we want to know that they have the compassion to take care of students, the drive to do those long hours, and the willingness to work with other people. We can ask it, like the interviews could consist of asking about like past experiences in service, or how do they rank themselves in their abilities to communicate with others. So just knowing and just speaking with them, getting an idea of what they are. I know it is definitely subjective, but it might be able to make a big difference, because there are nurses out there who are not good nurses, and while they might have gotten through college, there are other issues that need to be addressed.
That is an incredibly important point, that it just sounds like character could lead to concerns. Judging character, there would have to be something, I guess, very clear, like experience and communication ability, but, personality. They may make a great nurse, but you may not like their personality personally.
Right.
Are there any other questions at this time? Ellie.
Those characteristics that you were talking about will probably most likely be determined by the nursing program and not by students. So as a senator, we wouldn't have control over what characters they're looking for. They would just tell her simply what they're looking for.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the Senate? Are there any questions from the audience? Seeing none, we will now move on to Vanessa, our appointee for University College.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Vanessa. I served as Senator for American Minorities this past term, and I am but I'm being appointed for University College, suggested by Matthew. I guess one thing that I just really want to do with this position is do a clear view of communication and connection, because I feel like with this college, it's kind of the underdog, so I feel like it may get overlooked at times, and that's just something I want to, that's just something I want to work on with this next term, so, yeah.
Are there any questions from the Senate or directors? Matthew.
Yeah. I don't have a position. Okay. So I can't technically say what position I am, but yeah. So speaking as how you're going to be University College, do you have any connections prior or experience related to the college that would help you, I guess?
I was in a learning community with Professor Dykoff, and she works really big, like really largely with the first-gen population in the college. So, I mean, I have a few meetings set up with her in the future. So, as far as that goes, I have a meeting with Dean Dispro soon with you. So, orientation, I work with that. And, I mean, I guess that's all I have right now, but I look forward to growing that.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the Senate or the Executive Board for Vanessa? Any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you very much. I want to thank our 3 candidates. So what we're going to do now, no, she did not. So what we're going to do now is we're going to ask you all to step outside. The Senate will deliberate, and we'll have someone bring you back in when we have come to a vote. Okay, so for those of you, please, we're still in a formal meeting. For those of you who have not been senators before, there's a couple things we can do. The 2 options we're most likely to use is we'll discuss a little bit first, and then we can choose to make a motion to approve or a motion to vote on all the candidates at once. And then if that passes, then we will do another vote to approve all of them. Or if you so choose, we can vote on them individually and go one at a time. So at this time, is there any discussion on any or all of the candidates? Okay, is there a motion on the floor? Senate Lead Gagne.
Senate Lead Gagne, I move to approve to vote for all the candidates as a whole. Okay, well, anybody else want to move? There you go. Say exactly what I said. Okay. Oh, hello. Senator Keller for the Coles College of Business. I motion to approve the vote for the new candidates. All together.
So now we will vote on whether we want to vote on them all at once. All in favor, please raise your hands. All opposed? This does pass. We would look favorably upon a motion to approve all these candidates at once. Senator Bradford.
Senator Bradford, Senator Student Athletics, I move to approve the senators.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Stelter. All in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? This motion does pass. Can you please invite the new senators? Congratulations. If y'all could stand up front, and any senators who came in late that were elected, if you could go ahead up front and we'll swear you in as well. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly promise to uphold the Constitution of the Student Government of Kennesaw State University and to faithfully execute the office of State the Office I pledge to represent the interests of the students over my own self-interest in matters concerning the organization. I will make every effort to be available to listen to concerns of the students. And to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties. Congratulations, Senators. Go ahead and be seated, wherever. At this point, we will go ahead and vote on Secretary Gunby, who I have reappointed to serve as secretary. If you could just grab another one so I can keep.
What are we doing?
Just grab a mic. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Emily Gunby, and I'm going in my 3rd year here at Kennesaw State University, which makes it now 3 years going in SGA. Wow, it's been a long time. I just first want to say thank you to the old SGA, since I didn't get to do my officer report, for serving with me and being amazing. I love you all. I'll miss you all. Now to the new SGA administration. If you don't know, the secretary's roles is to do minutes during meetings, take attendance, keep track of office hours, keep track of officer reports, and just make sure the offices on both campuses are good in general. And if I am to be approved by you all, this will be my 2nd full year running in the position as secretary. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Are there any questions for Secretary Gunby from the student government? Any questions from the audience? Victoria?
What's your greatest weakness?
What is your greatest
Thank you, Victoria. My greatest weakness is probably overloading myself, that's for sure. And what? Oh, roller coasters, yeah, that's another one of my weaknesses. I actually just got over that though, so yay! And my other weakness is typing way too fast, so.
Senator Stelter, can someone?
So you said you type fast. What is your words per minute?
82 words per minute.
Are there any other questions from the Senate or the Executive Board? Senator Mogus.
We are the owls and we bring the fight all through the Southland. All know we're going to from the mountain. We bring spirit, heart, and victory. Let's go, owls! Our men and women bring honor and fame. Strong in the classroom, strong in the game. From the mountain, we bring spirit. Kennesaw is on the victory. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Go, owls! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Fight, owls! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. KSU! KSU! We are the owls and we bring the fight all through the Southland, all over my.
Thank you, Secretary Gunby. No one will question your school spirit. Though that was rousing and incredible, I'm going to ask that we don't do that for every appointment so we can get through this quickly. I believe that was the 3rd question, so Emily, we're going to ask you to step outside so the Senate can deliberate. Is there any discussion on the reappointment of Secretary Gunby? This time there's only one motion to approve, so is there a motion on the floor? Senator McGinnis.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students, I move to approve Secretary Gunby for re-election.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Mofazali. All in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? This does pass. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Emily Ann Gunby, do solemnly promise
I, Emily Ann Gunby, do solemnly promise
to uphold the Constitution of the Student Government of Kennesaw State University
to uphold the Constitution of the Student Government of Kennesaw
and to faithfully execute the office of Secretary.
and to faithfully execute the office of Secretary.
I pledge to represent the interests of the students over my own self-interest
I pledge to represent the interests of the students over my own self-interest
in matters concerning the organization.
in matters concerning the organization.
I will make every effort to be available to listen to concerns of students
I will make every effort available to be available to listen to the concerns of students
and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
Congratulations, Secretary Gunby. I will now ask the 5 director appointees to come up front, and for the sake of time, we're going to limit it to 2 questions per candidate. Once again, asking individual senators not to ask more than 1 question. So we'll start with Joshua Sukumar, since he is holding the mic. So he is our appointee for Director of Communications.
Hey everyone, so as Matthew said, my name's Josh, and I am the choice for Director of Communications. Rather than, give my whole life story, I'll just say that communications involves social media, posting online, designing banners, and I have a lot of experience with social media. I basically do all the social media for my church, Instagram, photography, photo editing. And Mona, the previous Director of Communications, basically gave me a rundown of how to design all the banners, and I think I can be pretty good at that for the most part. And lastly, you won't have to question my loyalty to the school or to student government, because last year I was Senator for College of Science and Mathematics, and I'd say I did a pretty okay job if Rayon says so too. Yeah, that's me. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Senator Sukumar? Any questions from the current SGA before we go to the audience? Nope. Mona.
How will you be a better director than the last director that held the position for 3 years and that everyone respects greatly?
No comment. I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, if anything, I first have to learn from you. So I'd say I need to learn first before I can see where I can improve.
Are there any questions from the current student government? No, you're fine. Iggy.
So other than just posting on social media and whatnot, you also have to run the SGA website. Are you familiar with the website, and how are you going to do a better job making sure it stays up to date?
All right, so to run the website, you just need to, as Mona told me previously, you just need to attend a training session. And it's not any, HTML or any crazy coding. It's just, highlight text, change it, and I'd say I can update it, whenever new senators come in, change pictures, all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I'll do.
We will now hear from Matthew Weiss, our appointee for Director of External Affairs.
Hey everyone, as Matthew said, I'm Matthew Weiss. I'm looking to fill the position of Director of External Affairs. This current semester, I was the senator for the University College, and the semester before that, I was the senator for first-year students. I believe that I am the best person to fill this vacancy because over the past 2 semesters, I have learned a lot from the previous directors, Director Ward, who's graduated, and outgoing Director Heath, who is outside right now. And they've taught me a lot. They're probably the 2 people who, right when I joined SGA, who I learned the most from and became really, really close to right from the beginning. So I definitely feel like I'm the best. The duties would involve following local legislation that affects the students, going to local city council meetings, and meeting with faculty that for issues related to the students, with politics, that side of things. I'm a political science major. I'm very involved with politics outside of SGA, both on campus and off campus. So I feel like this serves my interest the best and that I would be the best to fill it. So.
Are there any questions from the current SGA for Matthew Weiss? Senator Keller.
Thank you. Senator Keller for the Coles College of Business. So being a director, you must have the mindset of being a humble leader. In that, I would really love to see you do the chicken dance right now. The chicken dance.
That's a wonderful idea, Senator,
Yes.
but we're gonna,
I would love that, President.
well, noted.
I would
Are
love
there
that.
any,
Did anyone second my motion? Yep.
Question.
thank you, Senator. Senator McGinnis.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students. You are currently a freshman moving into the sophomore year, so how do you think that your limited experience will help you, how do you think you'll be able to qualify and translate what you have so far into a director position when you don't have that much experience yet at KSU under your belt?
That's a great question. I don't have a lot of experience with my time being here. I do have experience with actually doing things in SGA though. The majority of people in SGA, that wasn't meant to be rude, that's just, yeah, I mean the majority of you know the work I do. The numerous projects I've done both last semester and this semester. I take this very, very seriously. The people before me took this very, very seriously. And like I said, I learned a lot from them. I took what they did that I think worked, and I adapted for the future. I think some things that might need to be changed. I want to be here for a long time. I plan on growing into the role. Obviously, I mean, I am a freshman, so, but like I said before, I think I'm the most qualified, and I think I can more than handle the role, so.
Thank you, Matthew. We're now going to hear from Senator Mogus of the Coles College of Business, our appointee for Director of Procedural Operations.
Hey y'all, I'm Blaine. I was senator for Coles College of Business, so I'm going to be DPO now. I think I'll be best for this position because I'll be fair and I'll make sure everyone actually follows the rules this time.
I'll ask a question. President Honeycutt, what can you do to improve upon the work that Director Honeycutt did previously in procedural operations?
So I'll do better than Honeycutt by giving demerits and making sure they're actually followed through.
Thanks for feedback. Are there any other questions from the current administration for, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but.
Senator Ellington for the College of Engineering and Engineering Technology. So you seem to be a very, excuse me, can you listen, please? You seem to be a very friendly person with everybody here. And I was just wondering, how would you set aside your bias and when it comes to actually handing out demerits and punishing people, how would you separate your friendly side from your actual disciplinary side?
It's not personal, it's business, so it is what it is. If you get a demerit,
We're going to hear from Christina Gagne, current Senate lead, and our appointee for Director of Internal Affairs.
Hello everyone, like you said, my name is Christina Gagne. I'm recently serving as Senate lead for the Kennesaw campus. Before that, I served as the first year senator for SGA, so this is now going to be my third year, and also my second year on the e-board, if you guys do so vote me in. One thing that I'm really excited for this position if I get elected in is that last year, I actually took the role, basically, of the Director for Internal Affairs by completely planning homecoming, including choreographing the entire dance that we performed, and also planning outsource events for bonding, because I think one thing that I'm really passionate about is to make SGA a fun organization, not just about business, and I really hope that having that type of environment will help us better reach out to students. So how I plan on doing that is, like I said, about last week, again, not doing my job, but just doing it out of the kindness of my heart, I planned a bonding event for SGA, and it was extremely successful, and I really hope to continue that tradition within this next administration. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the current administration for Christina? Senator Duclair.
Hi, Senator Duclair for the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. So you did a great job on that amazing choreography with your amazing dance team for homecoming. So what are your plans for this future homecoming?
Okay, so I also serve on the homecoming committee, so I know all the ins and outs of homecoming, okay? So I kind of already know some secrets that we can definitely use for our advantage. Don't get that on camera. But I will say that this year I definitely want to incorporate more a senator involvement. So, you know, I mean, I did a good job, but I'm not Beyonce or nothing. So if anybody would like to participate and help me choreograph, I would love to open those doors up because I think that will help us win.
Are there any other questions from the current administration for Christina? Senator Stelter.
So how would you improve on Director Rubio's term? And what would you do that you saw him do? What would you do that you saw him do to improve this term?
Before we move forward, I'm going to ask that we don't directly mention previous occupants by name.
Okay, so your question was what would I do that he did?
Well, like how would
right?
you improve?
Like, what would
Okay.
you do that he didn't do, or what would you do
Okay.
to improve on
Okay.
what you've done in the past?
Well, for those of you that also don't know, what includes in the position is also reaching out to registered student organizations. And so another project of mine that I definitely want to incorporate with SGA is to have events that actually partner with certain registered student organizations, such as ASA and ISA. I think those have a really big influx on campus, and they really reach out to students, so I would love to start working with them. That's one thing that I found missing in the administration. And also the fact that I felt this past administration, a lot of senators just didn't have the passion for their job, and it made it really hard to reach out for students, and it also, as coming from a Senate lead position, made it really hard to get them to actually be representatives for students and for the benefits of students. So one thing that I would really like to do is kind of reconstruct that environment and kind of the thought of what this job is and make it a more enjoyable experience for not only us, but also for students that can come in our office and be more talkative and actually have a conversation with us and also participate in these events that I'm really excited to see SGA partake in.
Thank you. We will now hear from Director Delaney, who is up for reappointment to Director of Academic Affairs.
Hey guys, so like President Honeycutt said, I'm Erin. I served as Director of Academic Affairs this past year. And I think through this past year, I've learned a lot. I've gained a lot of knowledge and experience of how I would improve on this past year, such as Fuel for Finals and Fuel for Midterms. I know that a lot of y'all, it's like trying to pull teeth, trying to get y'all to come. So I think something I want to do is make it more engaging and more fun so that y'all want to come and like have fun. But yeah, you know, basically just improve on the things that I know that I can improve on is basically what I want to do, but yeah.
Are there any questions for Director Delaney? Yes, Senator. Can someone get her a mic, please?
Senator Holmes for the College of Computing Software Engineering. Question about INCUR. So we're going to be hosting INCUR, the Undergraduate Research Conference, for the first time. What steps do you have to kind of combat the amount of people that are going to be here or kind of increase the excitement here on campus?
So that is in the upcoming years, correct? Yes. Yeah, so we actually had someone come speak to our meeting earlier in the semester about it. And I think it's just, as it gets closer to date, it's really about hyping the students up here and trying to get them more involved in that so that, you know, when people do come, it's like, ooh, you know, Kennesaw represent, stuff like that. I think it's really important to kind of start from the inside out and work to build up Kennesaw from there.
Are there any other questions from the current administration for Director Delaney? Any questions from the audience? Former Vice President Mobalaji.
So I think I asked you this question last time for shortening, which is going to create sweetness. But now I want to see, have you, from knowing what your weaknesses, have you improved to become stronger in that area?
Yeah, so for those that don't know. I still think to this day my greatest weakness is having trouble to ask for help, just because I don't like to bother people. But I mean, even this semester, I was so proud of myself. I asked someone to do something for me because I couldn't do it, and it just like I was so proud. But no, I've definitely worked on it. I know now what I can and can't do, and I know where I need to delegate my responsibilities to, and how I can ask others for help. And yeah, I feel like I kind of did that.
Thank you very much. We will now ask our director candidates to step outside so the Senate can deliberate. And just to clarify, after we discuss that you can move, the first motion will be either to vote on them together or vote on them separately, and then after that you'll vote whether to approve or not. So that is completely up to the Senate. And is there any discussion about any or all of these candidates on the floor at this time? Former Vice President Mobilaji.
Just to make sure for next year, be sure to help Blaine with documents. She doesn't have any experience with constitutional bylaws, so this is eligible for the position. Should definitely help her out learning how to edit those documents to validate documents and all of that organization.
President Honeycutt, for those of you who are new, the position Blaine is up for is the position I held before being president. And on what Iggy's point was, yes, I have met with her briefly to talk about Constitution and bylaws. I was going to send her all the amendments we passed, all the most updated documents, as well as feedback from governance. So since, as many of the other former directors have been kind enough to do, I have been working with her through the transition because it is quite a position that takes a little while. So I'm very confident between her own natural abilities and the work I'll be doing with her that she'll hit the ground running. Is there any other discussion on any or all of these candidates? These are possibly the most important vote you'll have tonight. So if you have something to say, now's the time to say it. Seeing none, are there any points of motion on the floor? Vice President Abdul Salam.
Vice President Abdul Salam, I move to approve all of these directors together.
Is there a second on the floor? Seconded by Senator Busen. All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? This does pass. Now we will vote whether or not to approve these candidates. Is there any discussion on the floor? Seeing none, all in favor of approving all of these candidates, please. All opposed? Any abstentions? This does pass. Can you bring the candidates back in? Thank you. We'll just line up right here. It is unfortunate. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly promise to uphold the Constitution of the Student Government of Kennesaw State University and to faithfully execute the office of State the Office. I pledge to represent the interest of the students over my own self-interest in matters concerning the organization. I will make every effort to be available to listen to concerns of students and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties. Congratulations to our new directors. With there now being vacancies for Senator Coles College of Business and Senator for Mathematics and Science, we will now have Kara Heller and Samuel Brand come up front to be voted on. Where is the extra mic? Senate leads will be right after this. There's We'll start with Samuel Brand, the appointee for the seat for the Coles College of Business.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samuel Brand. I'm an international business major, and this is my junior year at Kennesaw State University. I'm very passionate about being a part of the SGA because I care deeply about the students as a whole and having their concerns heard and addressed. And I've held leadership positions in the Mall United Nations Club as the treasurer, so I have experience in that kind of thing. So, thank you.
Are there any questions from the current administration? Senator for the business.
Senator Keller for the Coles College of Business, and I know I'm excited to have you join us. I know you and I spoke earlier about there being a gap between, we're one of the largest colleges in this university, so how will you help us bridge the gap between our constituency and the Senate? What plans do you have to bring some enthusiasm to our constituency?
Thank you. As Senator Keller said, there is a very large disconnect between the student body as a whole, the constituents, and the senators and the student government. So therefore, in order to bridge this gap, I'd like to try to make and our other senators for the Coles College, personal information, not personal information, but professional information known so that students may address us and contact us and be able to speak to us directly and be aware that we exist in the first place. So.
Are there any other questions from the current administration? Seeing none, are there any questions from the audience? I don't believe there is. Thank you, Sam. We'll move on to Kara.
Hi, my name is Kara. I am here for the position of Senator of the College of Science and Mathematics. I'm a junior, hopefully a senior after next week. I have a lot of ideas for the College of Science and Mathematics, mostly in the math field, but I do have a lot of friends who are in science. I'd like to bring back or if I can, I don't really know the limitations of everything. I'd like to bring back our actuary class. It's been gone for 3 years now. I know a lot of faculty. I've been in SI for several semesters for a lot of different professors. I have a list of professors who are willing to teach it. I have plenty of people who are willing to take it, definitely enough to fill at least one class. I've been on the Board of Math and Science for 2 semesters. I've held a variety of leadership positions in the past. I was president of the National Society of Leadership and Success for the last 4 semesters. This is my last one, and I'm passing it on to my friends.
Are there any questions for her from the current administration? Seeing none, are there any? Senator Rahman.
Thank you very much. Senator Rahman, College of Science and Mathematics. Despite being the College of Science and Mathematics, a lot of math students do feel disconnected from the student, student government and the administration in general. How do you plan to bring that enthusiasm to your constituents as we move forward?
I guess first take away that I think a lot of the math students are mad because we're only restricted to one section of one campus, which is this campus, and only one building on this campus, and that's for the whole entire over 2,000 level classes. So my whole upper 60 credits are here, and then the whole entire statistics minor is in Kennesaw. So the whole College of Math is too busy commuting between the campuses to be involved in this. So we need to probably try to work on that first, so that we have time to come to these meetings, because I know I spend 3 hours a day commuting between these campuses because I'm in Kennesaw in the morning, I'm here in the afternoon, so I'm back on Kennesaw in the evenings right now. So if we could try to incorporate having both majors and all of the math students where they want to be, I think it would make them happy and more willing to be involved in things like student government and free up their time.
Are there any questions on the floor? Can someone hand the mic to him, please?
Senator Derek Bruno, Senator for American Minorities. I heard you say that your main focus is with the math department, and you have a lot of friends that are in the science department. Is your main source of communication with, like, between your friends and the science department, or do you plan on reaching out to the science department and having them know that you're around as well, for their, like, benefit, and to know that you're also there to help them in any time of, like, need or any time of expression?
I would definitely like to reach out to all of the students and the departments inside the college. I do a lot of volunteer work with the physics department. I know the chair of the physics department. Like I said, I've been on the board of math and science, so I do know the dean a little bit. Hopefully I'll know him much more in this upcoming semester. But I'd like to help out everybody. And I also know a lot of professors inside the physics department. I know that's like a very limited part of the science, but I look forward to meeting everybody.
All right, thank you very much to both of you. If you could just step outside briefly so the Senate could deliberate, and we'll call you back in once there's been a decision. Is there any discussion, either both or any of the individual appointees we just heard from? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion on the floor? Senator McGinnis?
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students. I move to vote on both appointees at the same time.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Rahman. All in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? This does pass. We will now vote on whether to approve these candidates. Is there a motion on the floor to approve all these candidates? Excuse me. Senator Stelter. Is there a second? Seconded by Director Weiss. All in favor? All opposed? This does pass. Stand up front, save a little time. Congratulations. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name, do solemnly promise to uphold the Constitution of the Student Government of Kennesaw State University
To uphold the Constitution of the Student Government of Kennesaw State University.
and to faithfully execute the office of, state the office.
And to faithfully execute the office of the College of Science and Mathematics.
I pledge to represent the interest of the students over my own self-interest
I pledge to represent the interests of the students over my own self-interest.
in matters concerning the organization.
In matters concerning the organization.
I will make every effort to be available to listen to concerns of students
I will make every effort to be available to listen to the concerns of students.
and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
And to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties.
Congratulations to our new senators. So we will now that we have a full Senate, we will vote on the Senate leads, and since we are on the Marietta campus, we will start with the candidates for the Marietta Senate lead. So anyone who is running for Senate lead, if you could come up to the front.
Hey everyone. So there's only one of me, so. My name is Soham Bapat. I'm currently the Senator for College of Computing. Oh, she's going to replace me? Okay. Anyways, I know Kirkland outside SGA as well. We work together outside SGA. Sorry, I'm cracking up. Okay, so yeah, he did his job well, but he obviously had some problems, so he didn't do his one-on-ones on time. And last semester we had only one one-on-one, so I think I'll do the one-on-ones better this semester, and yeah, I'll just do my job well.
Are there any questions? We'll go with Senate Lead Gagne, or former or Director of Internal Affairs Gagne.
Director of Internal Affairs, Gagne, I guess. Oh, that doesn't sound right. Okay, so one problem that I had as Senate Lead, especially when it came to one-on-ones, is the fact that a lot of the senators will receive the information about trying to set up for a one-on-one, and they refuse to fill it out, or like their group meet didn't work. So how do you plan to go over those obstacles in a professional way that also gets them to fill it out? Like, is there a different format that you would plan to use, or a different way of communication or anything like that?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna give them 3 chances. If they don't do it, I'm just gonna tell the director, I think, to to like give a demerit or something.
Are there any other questions for Senator Bobbitt?
Senator Coakley, Senator for the College of Engineering and Engineering Technology. I had a question about this campus. What are you going to do to ensure that the students of this campus who already feel ostracized are in contact with the SGA, more informed of its existence?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to work with the e-board here to, make people aware of SGA. That's what you're asking, or? Yeah, for sure. I mean, last semester I talked about SGA all the time, so I'm going to continue doing that this semester.
And also, point of information, the main goal of the Senate Lead's job is to influence the senators to reach out more to students. So that's not necessarily a Senate Lead's job. What I would encourage you to focus on is to push your senators to do that themselves, because they have that authority to reach out to their constituency specifically, and it's more efficient if someone who's designated to that college reaches out to those students rather than a Senate Lead that's in charge of the Senate reach out to this whole student body. However, you are a part of SGA, so of course we do still hear students' concerns, but we take those students' concerns and then send them out to senators and do that communication as effectively as possible. Excuse me.
Senator McGinnis?
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students. 2 things. One, how do you intend to accommodate people with unusual schedules under your leadership? And also, how do you, I guess, supposed to intend to work well with if commissioned senators from the Kennesaw campus that are based on the Kennesaw campus with constituencies on both campuses are under your leadership? How will you handle that?
So I live on campus, so I mean, I can schedule whenever they want, when we want, like 8 p.m. is fine with me if I'm free at that time. And I also take classes on Kennesaw campus like every other day, and I plan to take on next semester as well. So, I mean, if they want it on that campus, I can definitely do the one-on-one on that campus.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Soham. At my discretion as chair of the meeting, we will hear from the Kennesaw Senate Leads next, since Soham is unopposed, and then we will do 1 vote for Marietta and 1 vote for Kennesaw and send them all out at the same time. So you can go ahead and be seated. Thank you very much. Can we get the candidates for Kennesaw Senate Lead to come up front, please? We'll hear from Senator Mofazali first.
All right, so I'm Senator Mofazali, Senator for the Wellstar College. First off, I would like to start off by saying thank you to all the previous SGA members. It's been a pleasure being part of the same organization as them. I truly learned a lot from them. So going off to my speech now, last semester I started out an intern program. I think I learned a lot of the skills necessary for this position was taught to me in that program, and this last semester, as a senator, I participated in 2 main projects. One of them had to do with the Big Owl Bus app, and the other one had to do with the pre-health advisor, which resolution just got passed. And I'm also in the governance committee, so I'm pretty involved, I would say, and I would like to continue to be involved next semester and next year as a Senate lead, and hopefully work to improve the overall senator experience.
We'll hear from Macy, and we'll do questions after that.
Hey guys, so my name is Macy Dykes. I'm a 1st-year psychology student
And this past year, I've had the honor of serving in SGA as an intern in the fall and then as a first-year senator in the spring. But I've been involved with student leadership as a whole for over 4 years now, and it's one of my biggest passions. And within that, I've learned that my leadership style is definitely about servant leadership and working with others to help them and support them, which I think would be a really great fit for this position. I see so much potential in literally all of you, our returning senators. I've loved getting to watch you guys work and present your projects over this year, and I know you're going to do amazing things next year, and then hearing our new senators speak as well, I know you guys are going to bring so much to the table, and it would be truly an honor to get to support you and help create an awesome community in SGA for you this next term.
Thank you very much to both of you. We'll take 4 questions total, and since this is a Senate matter, we're going to prioritize senators specifically. So you can address your question to either or both, depending on how you want to do it. So Senator Whitehead, we'll start with you.
Senator Whitehead for American Minorities. My question would be for you all to just explain some things that you see that needs to be improved from the past couple semesters and how you're going to do that.
My biggest thing, I think, is just getting senators passionate about SGA. I know Christina mentioned this earlier. It seemed this past year maybe some people had conflicts or other things going on in their lives that prevented them from dedicating themselves fully to SGA. So I'd love to work with each of you individually to help you figure out how you can best commit yourself to this organization.
As Macy said, I would like to start working with each of you individually so that I can get you guys to reach out to me first. And hopefully that way I can help you out in getting your projects done successfully and also making sure that you fulfill all your responsibilities.
Are there any other questions for the Senate lead candidates? We'll hear from the senator at the far end of the table.
I'm Senator Clark from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. This question is for both of you. How will you go about integrating the newly elected senators with the returning senators and other SGA members by building those relationships and different understandings for SGA?
So I would definitely like to start off by meeting with each of the new senators individually so I can get to know them better and kind of know what they're planning on to do this coming up semester. I am also kind of familiar with all the current senators who are returning, so I would also like to meet with them one-on-one as well, just so that I can know if any of you guys' projects overlap so that you guys can work together. And if not, I would like to personally help you guys to fulfill your projects.
Hi. So I know how kind of intimidating SGA can be coming in as a new senator. And I know my experience with my Senate lead this past year was kind of what made SGA so great for me, because she was always there to answer questions and help with any confusion. So I'd love to continue to do that and work with all of our new senators individually to bring them in, answer any questions, make sure they feel safe to speak out in meetings and comfortable introducing themselves and mingling with our group.
Are there any other questions? We'll do Senator McGinnis, followed by Senator Rahman.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students. How do you intend to balance the workload of being a Senate lead with the workload of your academic courses?
So, like I said previously, I have a lot of experience working in student leadership. I know I'm still a first-year student, so I haven't had too much experience here at Kennesaw, but in my previous academic endeavors, I've been pretty good at managing my responsibilities as a student leader with academics. I'm a big planner. I like writing things down and having things organized, so I think that'll definitely come in handy.
Like I said, I worked on 2 projects this semester, and I was also part of the governance committees, and I'm currently in 17 credit hours of classes. I think this semester really taught me how to balance my course workload with SGAs. And coming up next year, I'm happy to have Christina as my mentor, and she's been really helpful in basically telling me how I can balance my coursework with the responsibilities that I have for SGA, so I think that would be very helpful for me too.
And last question from Senator Rahman.
Senator Rahman from the College of Science and Mathematics. I just want to start off my question by saying I think you're both very qualified candidates for this position. A big responsibility for Senate leads is being able to hold one-on-ones in person with your senators to make sure that everyone's on track and doesn't need any additional assistance. And that requires a lot of time in arranging your schedules to get that time allocated. So how have you arranged your schedules for fall semester to prepare yourself to make that allocation of time to meet with each person one-on-one?
So, as Christina told me, we have about 3 weeks to get all of our one-on-ones over with, and I have spread out my coursework so that I have a little bit of every class, or I have scattered my classes throughout the week. So I think that that shouldn't be a problem if it's over the span of 3 weeks.
So my schedule for next semester, for class-wise, all my classes are kind of in the middle of the day. So I have a wide open morning and a wide open afternoon and no classes at all on Fridays. So I would be able to schedule one-on-ones pretty much any time of day that works for the senators.
Apologies. Thank you to you both. We'll ask both of you as well as Senator Buffett to step outside, and we will vote first on Marietta and then on Kennesaw. So at my discretion, since there's one candidate from Marietta, we will vote on whether to approve him first. Please keep in mind, as these are Senate leads, we're going to ask that only senators vote. So is there a motion on the floor to approve?
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students, I move to approve our Marietta Campus Senate League candidate.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Busen. All in favor? All opposed? This does pass. Now for the contested position. What we can do one of two things. We'll first vote on how we want to vote. We can vote like we did, raise your hands where everyone can see, or if at the discretion of the Senate, we can do a paper vote where you will all use you'll write on the back of these and then we'll count them out to you. So that's up to the Senate. So is there a motion on the floor? Senator Duclair. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Tor. All in favor? All opposed? This does pass. So what we're going to do is, just out alphabetical order, to make it easier, we'll vote on Macy. Vote yes if you want Macy. Vote no if you prefer Puya. Keep in mind that this is a business thing and not a personal thing, so try to keep your personal entanglements out of it. Of course, we will have room for discussion first. Thank you. Is there any discussion on the floor regarding these two candidates? Senator McGinnis.
Senator McGinnis, Senator for Non-Traditional Students, what year is Puya?
They're both first-year students.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion on the floor regarding these candidates?
Okay, so just as having some experience in the Senate League position, there are a lot of obstacles, and especially because a lot of you are new in this position, you definitely want to move someone up that can communicate well with you, but also really make you feel comfortable in moving into this position, because you're going to have a lot of questions, you're going to be confused, and it's going to be a lot of paperwork and a lot of digital things, and I'm not good with technology, so I struggle with that a little bit. But I will say that also part of being a Senate lead is also being a people person. So for our past Senate that, although it isn't necessarily personal, this is a personal position. This is a position that opens for vulnerability and opens for an emotional connection, not just a business connection. I know that when I put myself in this Senate lead here for SGA, one of my biggest things was you can come to me about anything. And as we mentioned earlier with the whole passion thing, Macy mentioned that she really wanted to look into what kept you guys from being passionate. Sometimes that means you need to open yourself to responses that are personal. So it's not just a business position. Senate lead is very more personal. You're going to be interacting with this person probably more than each other. So just keep in mind that you do want somebody that is personable and that really made their effort to reach out to you. That goes to our old administration. To the new administration, I'm not really sure what you're going to base it on other than the responses, but just really pay attention to their personality traits and also their responses in your vote. Not just by like, the whatever, okay?
Thank you, Director Gagne. Is there any other discussion on the floor? Okay, what we will do now, we will, since we move to vote, was he raising his hand? Or are you just stretching? Okay, sorry. We will vote, first we'll vote on if you want Macy, second if you prefer Puya. Please try not to let, vote how you wish. Don't look at the Senate and see who gets the majority first. So if you would like Senator Macy Dykes to be the Kennesaw Senate lead, please raise your hand. If you would prefer Senator Puya Mufazali, please raise your hand.
Did everyone vote?
Okay, so by a vote of 11-9, Macy Dykes will be the next Senate lead for the Kennesaw campus. So if you could bring these candidates back in, thank you. We want to thank all three of you for applying. Senator Dykes won the vote for Kennesaw Senate lead, but I want to, not just as a representative, but as someone who knows you personally, salute you for your service, and I look forward to seeing the great work you're going to keep doing. Thank you. That being said, we will now administer the oath, and this will be the last oath of the night. So please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly promise to uphold the Constitution of the student government of Kennesaw State University and to faithfully execute the office of Senate Lead. I pledge to represent the interest of the students over my own self-interest in matters concerning the organization. I will make every effort to be available to listen to concerns of students and to respond to those concerns as I seek to carry out my duties. Congratulations to our team of Senate leads. We want to point out they counted and one senator did not vote. So because that would not change, it would not change the outcome. Because this is the first meeting, we are going to let this slide, but in the future, if we're going to count more carefully, and we will keep voting over and over again until everyone votes on matters like this, or at least abstains. But remember, you can't abstain unless it doesn't affect your college or there's a personal conflict of interest. So there isn't really a reason to abstain for a Senate lead vote. So should an issue like this arise again with appointments, we're going to keep going until everyone votes one way or the other. We will now take any announcements. This is the time for any members of SGA to discuss things perhaps outside of SGA that they wish to share with the audience and with each other. Are there any announcements? We'll start with Director Gagne and then go to the audience.
Just one thing. After the meeting, I would like to meet with the newly what's it called? Appointed. Okay, I was gonna say indicted. Sorry, criminal justice major. Senate leads to go ahead and discuss how you guys will be trained. Thank you.
We'll hear from Secretary Gunby, and then former Vice President Mobilaji.
Hey guys, congrats. So going around is my laptop over there by Macy. It's, oh crap. Okay, I'll come over and unlock it. But you guys need to fill out the form on there. You will need your name, your email, your phone number, like all of them digits, okay? Thanks.
Former Vice. Okay. Are there any other announcements? Well, then I will do my bit. President Honeycutt. Iggy decided not to, unless he changed his mind again. Okay. I want to thank and congratulate everyone for deciding to serve. Kennesaw is a really great school, and it's awesome to see so many people step up to serve. But I also want to take a moment to appreciate the old administration, and especially Victoria and Iggy. You all know how hard they worked, and I feel like they deserve a round of applause.
Mona too, Mona too.
That being said, I hope you all have taken the time to celebrate your new positions, but the time for celebration is now going to pass, and it's going to be time for us to take action. Kennesaw is at a transitionary period, and I think it's really important for us all to work as hard as we can, and I believe firmly that that's what this body will do. We aren't always going to be appreciated, we might not always be noticed, but we're always going to be necessary for our students to have the experience they deserve. So with that being said, for those of you who are new and I haven't met in person, please come introduce yourself to myself and Vice President Abdul Salam, as well as any of the other members of the Executive Board, just so I can put faces to the name and be able to call on you properly. And for our new Senate leads, please come talk to me and we'll get you added to the Executive Board group. Now that being said, if there are no other announcements, is there a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting? Senator Duclair. Is there a second? Senator Stelzer. All in favor of adjourning the 44th General Body Meeting? All opposed? This motion does pass. The meeting is now adjourned.